Perfetto, Jr.
Junior bought it?
Junior.
You think? I think Kristen bought it.
Oh, Mrs. P. Thank you, Mrs. P. I love this shirt. This could be my favorite polo I've ever gotten.
I haven't put mine on yet. I'm going to wear mine next week to the BU networking event.
You can network with some terriers?
I'm supposed to wear a sport coat to that hall thing, but I'm not a sport coat guy.
Nah.
It's just not who I am.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys are all good.
Are we live?
We
are live. I am just retrieving.
Ooh. Are we on BIG yet?
Yes.
We are.
Are we on YouTube yet?
YouTube and Facebook.
How you feeling about that, Laura?
You're live.
Okay, cool. You want to...
Not seeing us on YouTube. Oh, we're live now. Awesome. All right, so we got the intro there, Frank?
I am still trying to fish for it.
All right.
Yeah, we'll just talk.
We'll start talking. That's fine. I think we should pull up the first picture because we're talking about the girls tonight. So we have, it's 7:40. We're going to go 15 minutes for the girls. We'll reserve 15 minutes for the girls, 15 for the boys.
What?
And we're going to be talking about the top players on Long Island, the juniors. Which is pretty cool. I felt like just yesterday they were like puppies, but now they're juniors.
I know.
It's time to step up. So we want to kick it off with the girls' side of things because ladies are always first off.
Yep.
Secondly, I think the girls, they need more exposure. What's going on in Long Island with the amount of talent, amount of players going to play in college and impact, they need more exposure. So that's why we need to talk about them first and foremost, because what's happening on Long Island is an explosion of talent, and there's so many players that are coming off the island to be impact players in college. So that's why I think we got to talk about the ladies first.
You want to bring a picture of the girl that we ranked number one? Oh, there she is.
All right. This was a unanimous number one. We asked several sources, college coaches, high school coaches, club coaches. I asked you, you asked me, and Emma Lapinto was a unanimous number one. What do you like about her game?
Well, let's just talk about where we saw her play. Where
For the first time?
Well, when I saw her play in 9th grade against Garden City.
The Lady Woodstick Classic?
Exactly. I don't know if they call it that, but we
call it that.
We call it that. Her and Gately were freshmen.
Yes.
And they were dominating a senior, junior-laden Garden City team, and they were 9th graders.
I think they combined for like 9 goals between the two of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then last year, we covered the Cold Spring Harbor game, which I thought was going to be a close game.
I did too.
Going into the game, I thought it was going to be a 1-2 goal game.
Yep.
And they blew out Cold Spring Harbor. And Cold Spring Harbor was legit last year. They won the states for the second year.
Yeah, I think Manhasset played great in almost every category. Cold Spring didn't capitalize on some opportunities that they had, and I think they ran away with it because that's how good they were. I mean, not many teams could take it to Cold Spring like that.
Yeah, Lapinto was what I would consider the optimal floor general. Like, when the ball was in her stick, you knew good things were going to happen. And not necessarily score a goal, but the right person will get a good opportunity.
Yeah, I feel like with her, there's no moment that's too big. I thought that was one thing I noticed with her. It was kind of funny, like, we were interviewing her after the game because she was the shrinking player of the game. And right before the interview, Jim Amon, who is the current athletic director, used to be the Cold Spring Harbor athletic director when I was going to school there, came up to me and pointed to Emma and said, that girl's got ice in her veins, which I thought that was kind of cool because, you know, here he is at Cold Spring Harbor on Jim Amon Field that was named after him, watching, you know, the school that he used to be the AD at, now at the AD at Cold Spring Harbor, watching a girl who I think is going to be one of the greats to come out of that school, and there's been a lot of great players to come out of that school, and he just said, like, just talked about how clutch she was, and I think from an intangibles perspective, she has it all figured out mentally, and I think her poise is there, and obviously the skill and the athleticism is there because she can do things on the field that I don't think a lot of players can do, like great ground ball player, great around the crease, good at dodging, scoring, feeding. She kind of is like the optimal attackman, like you talked about, attacker. So, I mean, she's...
What do you think her phone was like on September 1st?
I think she probably had to, like, just leave it in another room. She probably didn't have time to answer all those calls. I mean, I don't know who reached out, but if I'm a top 20 program, Division I, for women's, like, there's no way I'm not reaching out to her, you know, at 12:01. She's the best player I've seen in that grade. I mean, she's awesome. So we could talk about Emma all night, but we got to move on because we got a lot of other studleets we have to talk about. Let's move on to the number 2, who I know you wanted to make a run as number 1, because I think the argument was who's more valuable, a great attacker or a great goalie. In the girls' game, the argument might be made that it's a goalie. So Emily Lamperter, who's going to Maryland, committed as a 6th grader, right? 5th grader. She
could have.
Mount Sinai's lockdown goaltender, who's a stud too. What do you like about it?
Well, first of all, she has ridiculous hands.
Yeah.
Ridiculous hands.
She's very quick.
And
she's a lefty.
She's a lefty, but we talked about this. Like we said, and this is a good question for the audience. What's more important, the girls' goalie or the boys' goalie?
Right.
And I just think it's the girls' goalie because of the free position shots.
Yeah, that's big.
They just get those ridiculous free position shots. And I saw her against, who did I see her against?
West Hampton.
Where she just, free positions, she just dominated. Like, and West Hampton had like 3 or 4 studs shooting at her.
Sure.
So, I mean, you can make an argument for obviously those two, but I mean, you're picking hairs, but then when you get to 3, 4, 5, they're all great too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So she's someone, she's a unique talent too. Like she's been great since she's younger, and she lives up to all the hype. Great goalie, great stopper, a good person to have on the list. Number 3, Madigan Miller. Talk about the Miller family.
Well, I want to talk about the greatest names. I mean, the Miller girls have the greatest names in all sports.
Yeah, they do.
They're all like, Kerrigan is the one at USC, right?
Yep.
Then they have 2 older sisters, and they all have these amazing Irish names. But Madigan, I remember in 7th grade, she came to box.
With her older sister.
When Kerrigan was like a senior. And
I think she had just made, or was in the process of trying out for the U19 USA team, Kerrigan.
She made it as a 10th grader.
She made it as a 10th grader, that's right. So the next winter, she came just to get better with her sister. I thought that was really cool because Madigan was younger, very talented, but she was more caught up, I think, with making sure her sister was developing
Exactly.
than like herself. I thought that was really cool. It showed she was like a good older sister and was like a very unselfish person. And I think that just kind of speaks to, I'm sure, that family. It's just kind of like how they're raised, I guess. So just having a great older sister and having the ability, all the ability, and then playing for a program like Coach Gix in Bayport, like you knew Madigan was going to be awesome.
I think the funny thing is, we talk about this all the time, having great mentors for these young ladies.
Yeah.
We talk about the coaches that coach our girls.
Right.
And it's so important, and like we bring in the older high school girls
Yep.
and the college girls to mentor them.
Yep.
Girls like Des Kleberg who came in are now in college.
Right.
And then these girls are looking up to these young ladies. I think that's so important.
No, I think it's cool. Let's talk about number 4, Summer Agostino. Ward Melville.
I love this girl. I saw her play last year. They lost to Northport, and they lost relatively big.
Yeah.
And this girl played so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she just, and they were down a lot, but didn't matter. They could have been down, I don't remember the score, but it was a lot.
Yeah.
And she was playing her heart out.
Yeah.
I don't know where she's going to end up, but somebody's getting like a workhorse.
Yeah, she's like a 2-way workhorse who's just like, does it all. Like, equivalent of like a McAdory type player.
Yeah.
Great between the lines, good defender, good in the clearing game, good on the offensive end. So I'm sure her phone lit up.
Oh, yeah.
September 1st, all 5 of these. Mo Duffy, one of your favorites.
Yeah, I love Mo. I'm curious to see who called Mo. I gotta reach out and find out how, I saw her little brother play this summer.
He's good.
He's very good. He was like in the 8th grade.
That kid's really
And he had an IQ through the roof. Owen, I think, was his first name.
He played for the Suffolk team.
Yep,
Up
at the New York State event.
That's where I saw him play. I was watching him on Lax Sports Network, and he's going to be a really good attackman. I don't know if he's going to grow or not, but he's really quick, so I don't know if that matters.
He's got an unbelievable IQ for such a young kid.
Yeah, that kid's really good.
And Mo, they're a very similar player.
Yeah, Mo Duffy's more of a midfielder, could be an attacker, but she's very, strong, athletic, good dodger. I think she can develop her left hand. She can really be effective and have an All-American type year as a junior.
Yeah, they're going to be good. West Ham's going to be good this year.
Her and Bell will be on the same midfield line.
They're going to be good this year. They're going to fight it with Mount Sinai and Bayport for the C. Right. And then the dark horse. You got.
Yeah, we got 3 minutes left to talk about the girls.
Well, I want to
Throw
talk.
a couple more players.
Go ahead.
You want to talk about, what do you want to talk about, teams?
No, throw them at me.
All right, Erin Schaefer.
Love that kid. For those that don't know,
Go on.
she's going out to Stanford to be a Stanford Cardinal.
That's pretty cool.
For those of you who've never been out there, you got to.
Breaking news.
Oh, what a great school! What a beautiful
How do
place!
you not commit to Stanford if you fly out there? You're on
Oh, what a beautiful place to go to college.
Good for her.
Palo Alto, California.
Her dad's good people. She deserves it. She's awesome. We got to go. We have to watch her this spring.
We're definitely going to catch a Sayville game. I think a good game to see them play because against a good team
Yeah.
would be like a Sayville Bayport game or Sayville West Hampton game.
Yep, I think that'd be a good one too. At number 13 on our list, Lola Leone.
Yep, I saw her play.
Was it Sachem?
Yes, in the
Sachem.
playoffs.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she had an inside role like Will Manny.
Yeah.
And she's going to the Naval Academy, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, she just committed there.
Yeah, that she impressed the hell out of me.
Do you want to talk to people that don't know when it comes to recruiting? Like, why do some players commit to the service academies before others?
So the service academies, Air Force, Army, and Navy, are allowed to recruit 2 months before the regular schools. So September 1st to them is July 1st.
Gotcha.
So in July 1st, they can contact who they want to recruit.
Why do you think the service academies get a leg up on reaching out to players, before the other schools?
I mean, if you think about it, they're protecting, our democracy.
Yeah.
So why not give them an opportunity? I mean, if a young lady or a young man wants to go to the service academy, you can't compare a service academy education, experience to a USC.
There's really nothing like it.
It's a different experience. So if that's what you want,
Yeah.
I mean, when we get into the boys, we'll talk about a young man who's going to go to the Naval Academy.
Yeah.
And if that's what you want,
It's like when you know, you know.
yeah, and God bless him, and just pray for him.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, but good for Lola. A girl we left off the GOAT list last year that
Oh, she impressed the hell out of us at that
Jill
showcase.
Valkunis.
Well, I want to talk about Wantagh because we know obviously their coach very well, Robin Pastuch, and she arguably has the best 21 girls class
They're good.
on Long Island. Like I'm talking volume of girls,
Yeah, there's probably like 10 players that are all really
just a
good.
volume of 21s that are all legit lacrosse players.
Mhm.
So they're going to see if they can mesh together to knock off the mighty Seahawks from Cold Spring Harbor, who are 2-time state champs.
Yeah, that's not
I know
easy.
Danielle's not going to make it easy on them.
No shot. Jordan Forte from Huntington.
Yeah, you know how much I love that girl. We saw her play with Abby Machin last year.
She was playing last year.
She was a 10th grader, and she was dominating the middle of the field.
Yeah, she looked like a senior.
She picks up ground balls and explodes.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what her recruiting process is going like.
Yeah, I would like to see her go to like a Stony Brook. She just kind of reminds me of that, like she's got something to prove, like.
Yeah, you know what? That would probably be a great fit for her. And I don't know much about her profile,
Yeah.
but she would fit a Joe Spallina type system.
I feel like she's really tough. Katie Valley, who's a goalie for,
Yep.
she was at number 20 for ESM.
She had a great year, and she had an unbelievable
she's so
game.
unassuming and like had a great ride.
The West Bab game, right? She was our MVP.
She played great. And then we're gonna throw another girl at you, 28 Ava Fernandez.
Yep.
Of Comstock.
Under the radar.
Yeah.
I went to see Comstock play Emily Ward, Babylon.
Yep.
And the Fernandez sisters, I mean, they have 3 of them.
Yep.
And the Comstock team is very good.
Julie Ava Mia.
Julie's at
Jam.
Manhattan. Ava, I'm curious what's happening with Ava's recruiting process. I got to reach out to them and find out how that's going.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
a
an
sleeper.
excellent player.
She'd be a good pickup. So those are just some girls we wanted to highlight. I mean, like, there's so many good players, and I also think we were talking to the Hofstra coaches about this, and we mentioned it on last week's show. Like, some of the players we're talking about on this list, like, there's a girl who's not even ranked. She might be in the 30s, 40s, who's gonna like come out of nowhere, and it's because like right now instead of watching our show on a Tuesday night, she's like doing wall ball, and having her she's turning her mom's car on to get like light to get some extra.
Yeah, doing speed training.
Yeah, doing some speed training.
Absolutely.
So like, that's what I like about lists sometimes is how players react to it. Some players say I don't even care what I'm ranked. I'm just gonna do my thing. But I think you can really use it as motivation because like we're comparing players right now. And there's some girls on this list that probably feel as though that they are not getting what they deserve. So I hope they prove and do
Well,
something.
we talk about no one's watching.
Yeah.
So it's what do you do when no one's watching?
Right.
I don't want to hear what you're doing when you're playing in your school or you're playing for your club.
Yeah.
What are you doing when nobody's watching?
Yeah.
Those are the kids I want to recruit.
Yeah. Those are the kids you end up
We
talking.
talked to TK at Quinnipiac today.
Yeah.
Those are the girls that TK wants.
We're having someone on our show in October who is like literally the prime example in the sport of lacrosse about just outworking people and like doing things when no one's watching. And I heard, and her name's Kylie Ohlmiller, who everyone's heard of now. And like Joe Spalina, I heard him talk on behalf of Kylie when he was recruiting her. He's like this girl is gonna be great. She just doesn't know it yet. And then like when she figured it out and put the work in, which she always was doing, I mean, forget about it. She's one of she's the face of women's lacrosse. She's awesome.
And what's great about her, though,
Yeah.
is she's not from one of those programs that everybody sees winning the counties, and
100%.
she's an Islip High School girl.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They produce a couple quality college players every year, but they're not. You know, they don't have 10 girls like Wanta has right now.
Exactly.
You know, Cold Spring Harbor last year had I think 13 seniors. You know, 4 of which are going to play with some of the best programs in the country. So it's cool to see a story like Kylie, because if I'm a girl that's playing for, you know, one of those teams that's just scratching to make the playoffs, like I'm gonna look up to her and say I could be her one day. Like,
Well, she's the type of girl that we talk about being role models. When she comes down and does a shooting clinics with us, or she's coming down in a couple weeks, right? When's she coming down?
Saturday.
Oh, this Saturday. And she's going to work with the girls. When she teaches an inside roll, her foot's in the same spot, and she does the drill 20 times.
Mm-hmm.
That's just from working hard.
Yeah. It's just like consistency, you know. All right, so let's move over to the boys a little bit here.
Love it.
We're switching gears.
Going to the boys.
And let's start with our number one.
You got that number one there, Frankie?
Below our boy Tyler Schwartz.
Hey Corey,
Yes, sir.
we need to get a username and password for YouTube for you.
You got it. I'll give that to you right now. You want me to text it to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're on here as.
So we're going to talk about Tyler Schwartz real quick. And the reason I want to talk about this young man is in the high school and college game, the LSM has become so important. And this young man had 37 points as a 10th grader for the state champion Wildcats. I mean, think about that, guys. He didn't play man up. So that means he was on the field on a defensive possession and then brought the ball up. 37 times there was a goal. I mean, that's unbelievable. Just think of that statistic. I was talking to a college coach about this kid. I mean, he's magic. I mean, I can only imagine the love that he got on September 1st.
Yeah, he probably was up all night.
Right? You think people were reaching out at 12:01 to him?
Yeah, it depends if he was playing.
Oh, in one of those things.
Yeah, he over at the Midnight Madness of Inside Lacrosse, but yeah, he's great. I mean, like I think where the game's going, having a athletic, skilled transition long stick midfielder who's just like could become a 4-year All-American for you one day is, I mean, those are the players that make a difference. It's like having an amazing face-off guy who can go score goals and play defense, or having an amazing goalie.
Transition is such a big part of the game because
Yeah, it's getting faster.
yeah, and you usually you're in an odd man rush when you're in transition.
Yeah.
So, more goals are scored. I mean, you go through this
Can you guys
list.
hear me, by the way? I just got a message that my sound's a little off, so I just want to make sure. Can you hear me okay, Frank?
Yeah, I can hear you loud. and
Okay.
clear.
All right, cool. All right, so let's move on to number 2 on our list.
Jojo.
Jojo Todaro of Cary. You want to talk about their 21 class?
That's another, yeah, that's
Another sleeper one that we haven't mentioned.
it is a sleeper one, and
Brendan Tello, Jojo Todaro. You got
Cowan, the kid who plays defense and plays on their football team.
you got Cowan, you got Ferrone, you got Jimmy.
Jimmy O.C. Then they got a veteran senior floor who just committed, who we can't talk about yet until
Yep.
he lets all the schools.
That'll break on LILJ Journal Instagram soon.
We'll have that.
I mean, that 21 class is really good.
Yeah, they've done a great job there. I mean,
Yeah.
again, when you get a group of kids, and it's usually getting them when they're really young,
Right.
to fall in love with the game. Cary's going to make noise this year. I don't know if they're ready to knock off Mighty Manhasset or GC, but they're going to make some noise.
I hope they do, just for parity. I think it's good to see different teams in there, and I like to see them compete, and it makes it more interesting.
Grow the
And
sport in their community.
it does. It grows the sport, and I think JoJo, he's a kid that's just like stands out. His presence, his athleticism. He's a good leader. He's vocal. He kind of has a lot of the intangibles that coaches look for. He's kind of like a nasty defenseman. He's a kid.
the kid that we talk about when I talk to defensemen.
Right.
I want you to be a nasty SOB on the field and be a choir boy off the field.
Yeah.
And he's that kid.
Yeah, he's a good kid. Number 3, Tyler Gatz. He's one. He's one of your favorites.
Yeah, I love Tyler, and unfortunately got injured this summer. And I know he's on the road to recovery. I've been talking to his mom a little bit on social media, and she said he's recovering. And
He'll be fine.
yeah, no,
I'm not worried about that kid.
I just want him to get healthy.
Yeah.
I want to see that kid playing in the Shoreham Mount Sinai game this year.
Even if he doesn't play, he will play for that game. He'll figure it out. They'll put him in net. He'll do fine. But he's a great, tough, offensive-oriented midfielder who could play two ways. And then number 4, Andrew McAdory, who some say we're underrating. Inside Lacrosse has him as the top 21 in the country. I mean, it's hard to argue how good this kid is. So there's no doubt about that. I just think he's someone who's like very good at so many things. And I mean, he's a kid that you can't go wrong by recruiting him over anyone else. It's just, I mean, I don't know. He's
You know what
he's a stud.
that not a lot of kids have? He's got that, I'm going to beat you.
Yeah.
You know, he's like that kid. He's I'm going to beat you. And like in that Manhasset game, you could tell that like, I'm going to score a goal right now.
Yeah. He took over.
He's that kind of kid.
I think he has that in two areas. Like he has that from a work ethic perspective, and then he has it from like a competitiveness perspective. So he's like, I'm going to outwork you, and then I'm going to like, I want to win more than you, so I'm going to take over right now and just take care of that. So I think like those two intangibles, plus the fact that he's like a really good lacrosse player.
Who's
I mean,
recruiting him? Don't you see? I see that kid at one school. I don't know why. This is the school I see at.
don't tell me. Give me a clue.
He's a Maryland kid. I don't know why. No?
Yeah.
He's not John Tillman. He's like,
I know.
Like I think that guy would fall in love with John Tillman.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
You see that?
I do.
Like little Mike Janachuk, like that kind of kid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. He's like put the number 1 jersey on him. Like he's that type of kid. I agree. He's awesome. We'll see. How about Jake Wilson at number 5?
Yeah, I mean, Shorham's defense. I was talking to Mike Taylor about this. I ran into him at the Riptide event, and I said, I realize why your defense is so good, because he said this. He goes, every day in practice they have to cover Xavier Eilon. Like, can you imagine being a kid who has to cover that kid every day? Like, they switch off. Wilson covers him.
Yeah.
Schwartz covers him.
I bet after practice.
Kessel covers him.
Yeah. Every day after practice, they go up to him and just say like, "Thank you."
Yeah, because
Thanks for making me better.
you're getting better.
Yeah.
Getting better covering arguably the best dodging attackman in the country.
Yeah. How good do you think Chris Kavanaugh is?
He's just like his brother, just righty, right? I think
he's more of an ex-attackman. I think like his brother's more of like a low wing, like mid-range wing dodging, like thrashing attackman, kind of like Billy Bitter. But Billy also like could dodge from X a little bit. But I don't know. I think he's more of a distributor. I think he's more of an X guy. I think if he develops a left hand, he could be like more of like a Steele Stanwyck type player. I think he's different than his brother.
he's very talented.
I don't know if he's gonna be better. Like I don't know much about him. I don't know him. I think his talent, like, is one thing, but how hard is he gonna? His brothers like work so hard.
I remember seeing him when he was like in 5th grade.
Yeah.
At some tournament and going, "Who is this kid?" And it was a little Kavanaugh.
Yeah, he's great. Let's give some love to some more defensemen. Jason Singer and Lorenzo Ramos. Those guys are pretty good.
Yeah, McGoldrick and Schwartz, the twin, and don't forget Veterola. I mean these kids. I mean, you go down this list. Barron. Where did Barron? Barron's going.
He just
to
committed to Brown. Ryan Bell is awesome.
Yeah, I love Ryan Bell. See,
I mean,
Ryan Bell, if he was 6'2", could be the number 1 kid on this list.
Yes. I'd recruit him to any school.
In the last game of the year that they lost to Ward Melville, I was on the sideline.
Who was the best player for Smithtown West?
He was.
I mean, as a sophomore, that's not.
He was the best kid on the field.
That's
and by the way,
yeah.
Hoffman was phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. But Bell, when they needed to give the ball to somebody to burn the clock, it was Bell. It was their sophomore. And we watched him all summer. He's fabulous.
I could see Ryan Bell, like, he's good enough where he can go somewhere and like make that team really good. Like, he should go to like Stony Brook and take that team to the next level.
That might be a good
Go to
fit.
Stony Brook and go beat Albany. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And go make the second round of the
I
playoffs.
wonder if Albany's recruiting him. I'm going to see Albany next week. I'm going to ask them.
If I was in America East School, I'd be all over that kid. George Panagopoulos, Friends defenseman. You can't sleep on that kid. He's awesome.
And OC? How about Jimmy OC? I know he's getting love. Forrest Dimitri, he's committed.
Just committed to Brown also.
Right?
Him and
Mulholland,
Barnes.
who's been committed to Michigan.
Mulholland's stud.
And look, then we
Jayzod Hall. You have, look, 3 stud face-off guys. Jayzod, Ben Kappelman, Ben Farrar, and then who's the other kid?
No, you got 5. You got the two Chaminade kids. Rodriguez is going to Yale.
Yeah, Rodriguez.
You got Will Lynch. You got Jayzod Hall. You got Chris Kappelman and Ben Ferrara.
Yeah. I mean.
And then down low, you got a Shoreham kid, Shawnee Miller.
Yeah, he does more than just faces off. He's a two-way midi, you know.
Right.
He's a beast. And then Ian, you got another committed player, Ian McGowan. You talked about Ian.
McGowan.
You want to talk about him? Yeah.
Yeah, we love him. Ian is a Harborfields kid. Where do we have him on this list? We have him at 29. And he just committed to Naval Academy. That was a dream of his. Again.
I think what's interesting, and this is just in my experience with you helping players through the process, like every time we talk to a player who's interested in that, it's always like you turn to the parent and you want to get their reaction. I would love to bring a parent on who has a son